All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Cyrus Soon said he kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Cyrus Soon said YouTube page, a dynamic page. Y'all know what it is. Black Power, Black Frequency. You feeling that frequency and energy? You should most definitely join. Link right down in the video description. Click that link. You'll get a video introduction rundown on the memberships, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, kingseti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarah Soon Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. We got you, family. 25% off. Selected items at this time. Save and shop. Shop and save, family. That's right. I don't know. I didn't even have it on there. Yes, I did. All right. Pull the fire alarm. GeneralSeti.com. SETI University. Over 1,500 videos of nothing but pure heat fire presented by General SETI himself. All the subjects that you know and love from the general. We also got the supplemental, also monumental and instrumental research material from the Grandmaster teachers. I give you a 360-degree overview of all the material, giving you an academic, African academic platform of wisdom and knowledge that cannot be surpassed by any other website on the planet. I want you to get over there today, family, uploading a lot of information. Man, it's power packed. There's no way you could come up out of there on the same level. You're going to be on the elevator straight to the top. Come, family, join, become a member. That's right. SETI popping on Patreon, dropping nuclear bombs on Patreon. And y'all already know ain't nothing but that fire over there. That's that hot sauce. That's that jalapeno presentations that we got over there. You see what I'm saying? So you need to get over when you look at when it's too raw for YouTube. We take it to Patreon. We got over 5. It's close to 500. You see what I'm saying? Videos, presentations that have never been seen on any other platform other than Patreon. They're exclusive. We got a lot of subjects that we just don't talk about on YouTube. We keep it exclusive to Patreon. I know you want it. Get over there today and become a patron. That's right. To all my family out there, donate to the general. I thank you. I appreciate the fact that you appreciate me. Any of the family out there would like to donate to the general. The link is in the video description in the chat. Click it. I thank you ahead of time. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King SETI, General SETI, Sarah Soon SETI. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. Now, will the United States militarily take over Yemen to maintain world control? Now, we got to talk about this because, early on, discussing this, I have always brought you to this area because I told you that this was one of the major strategic areas in the world that it was going to be a fight over. And I'll be goddamn. We can go and I'll go get the videos and months. And I told motherfucker that we would be here and we are here. You see, and so now that we here, I got to keep, prophesizing. The general military geography. You feel me? We talking about back in 2007. Nobody do it better. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not one that, no, we looking at this shit. It has happened before. It'll happen again. You see, once you break the world down into its strategic power centers, you see, when it comes to maritime, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. The same routes is the routes that have already been charted, thousands of years ago, and you can tell, when you talk about, bosses on the planet, they control a certain area. They control a certain gate. And in order to get through that gate, you got to pay. You got to pay the piper, or you take it from the piper. You see what I'm saying? It's either that or the other. And so now we seeing that technically The war that started in Israel, started in Gaza, is expanding. You see, it's expanding. And you can see that you talking about Lebanon. We talked about Lebanon, the other what's the other? Let me get my maps up here. Okay. And I really thought I had. Okay, and I got to tighten some of them up. But wait a minute. Bingo. Okay. Okay. We got a lot here. Hold on, fam. Oh, here they go. Here, all of them right here. Let me just bring them up. We about to operate. We about to operate. And I'm gonna walk you through this. This was when you got to see this is when you got to come up off the liquor store philosophies and shit. You know, motherfucker can't go no further than the liquor store and shit. You know, and motherfucker, if when the news come on, if it ain't talking about a nigga that got his head cracked at the liquor store, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Gas station mugging and shit and all this shit. You know, and I understand we got to know that, but that's all we know. We don't want to know nothing else. You see, and you see, studying world, whatever's going on in the world, it happens on a local level anyway. You studying strategy. You studying how people react, how people, in times of crisis and shit. You got to look at because it could easily be your ass. And see, that's what's wrong with our people. They live in some type of a vacuum and shit where they, where they think shit won't happen to them. That's not true. And that's why your ass be in a state of motherfucking shock, unprepared, because you're naive about reality. Okay, let's deal. Let's get in. Had to get my maps together. We ready. We ready to get busy. We ready to get busy. Okay, we in the house. We in the house. Okay, and so we talking about again. Now we talking about the Arabian Sea, and we understand that there is no Arabian Sea. This is a criminally renamed body of water. This is the Sea of Punt. This is not no Arabian Sea. This is the Sea of Punt. You understand, which is an ancient nation of Africa. But this is a very vital area because first and foremost, it leads into the Persian Gulf. It leads into the Persian Gulf. Of course, you got a lot of oil, facilities that belong to the West, America, Britain. You see France. You don't know they all got their and even India and China. A lot of them come in there, but the dominant powers that's in there is America, Britain, and France. And so in order to maintain shipping and of these resources, they got to maintain control over these areas. Now, not just the Arabian Sea, but we talking about the Gulf of Aden. Now, the Gulf of Aden is right, as you enter. Matter of fact, let me get a better one than that. You see right here, the Gulf of Aden. That is the back door of, for the most. I consider it the back door. With Egypt being the front door and the Gulf of Aden, Somalia being the back door. And you see, it's going to be some problems about that area. Okay, I'm just letting y'all know. It's gonna be some problems about that area, which I've already told you, but I didn't know to what extent, and now is rearing its head. And when you look at what's going on, you seeing that you got the Houthis, which are a faction, Arab Muslim faction in Yemen that is in league and confederation with Iran. You see, also in confederation with Hamas. Also in confederation with Hezbollah. You see, so this is the Iranian Confederation. And so with what's going on, let me state what I believe off top. So, I don't know what, I don't care what other, I don't even listen to other analysts. Every blue moon I listen. But then, I take that with a grain of salt. Let me tell you something. Number one, Yemen is almost in a position like Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? They, in order, but how long can you do it? How long can you do it? And I believe that, the United States is, drawing up some type of operation where ultimately they're gonna have to occupy Yemen. I do believe that. They're gonna have to occupy Yemen. This isn't, if they leave them there, it is gonna be no goddamn way, because you talking about a thin, when you talk about going, and I'm gonna show you, it's tight to get up and through there. You see, when you talk about Yemen, and I got a better one, when you talk about Yemen and how close it is uh to Africa, is a very is very narrow. You see what I'm saying? It's very narrow to get through there. So it don't take much to strike ships. It don't take much. Okay? They got them drones and shit, and and they calling this the Gate of Tears. So it don't take much. Especially if they're using drones, that means they don't even have to put, they don't even have to put lives on the line, per se, to even to strike, to even strike ships. They can use the drones. And I think that's what they've been doing. Now they talking about $1 trillion, and we talking about in I believe they got the pound up there of trade passes through the Red Sea. 1 trillion, and so, with them only being able to, launch drones, you're gonna have to clear that out. You're gonna have to clear that out. You're gonna have to clear that out. Period. You're gonna have to, and technically, and I'll be talking about Ethiopia and the United States and Egypt. They having words about what's going on, because Ethiopia is playing a part too in the Horn of Africa, Somaliland. But we'll talk about that. It's gonna be some shit, because the only way you're gonna be able to control that. Now, on the other side, I don't see it as volatile on the African side. You don't have, but you have to understand too that there is a lot of Islamic terrorist groups in Africa. Okay, just let's be real about that. And so they're gonna have to, they looking at all those groups as being, a possible link in a greater war of the West and the Arab. You see what I'm saying? So, they're not there at this moment, but they could pose a threat. They could pose a threat. It's damn near, some local groups and in damn near every country over there that's either tied with ISIL or tied with Al Qaeda, one or the other. You see, and so yeah, they're in there. They're in Africa, and they're attacking in Africa too. And so the only way that they're gonna have any type of peace, you see, either they're gonna bring them in, but they in league with Iran, and so that's not gonna happen. I don't believe that's gonna happen. I don't believe that's gonna happen. Either they're gonna come out of Gaza, and I believe the United States is about ready to push, on Israel. They letting them, do their thing, but at what cost? At what cost? At what cost? Is you going? I mean, because it's going to be a domino effect. Because you literally gonna have to do to Yemen what you doing to Gaza. You're gonna have to do the same goddamn thing. You're gonna have to clear that out. And see, and that's just real talk. I don't see no other way. You're gonna have to occupy that shit in order to keep them from, and all they have to do, you can imagine that, they could literally be in the middle. They don't even have to be right there on the western end of Yemen. They don't have to be there. They could be fine from the middle of Yemen. I mean, that's not that far, to just launch missiles into that little narrow waterway and cause a lot of damage, but with the drones and shit, you know what I'm saying? You can, I mean, you could put 10, 20, 30 of them in the air. That's the new thing that they talking about doing. Dropping, hundreds, if not thousands of drones. And I think the United States got that playbook, where they just drop so many, you know what I'm saying? That it just overwhelms a motherfucker. It just overwhelm them, with drones and shit, And so this is a new age, but ultimately, I just remember where you heard it. You heard it from General Seti that it's looking like they're gonna have to occupy Yemen. Believe it. I don't, they're gonna have to either, or they're gonna pass it. But once they rear they hand like that, you see, ain't no telling when they'll play that card again. And it's gonna get played because the greater confrontation between the United States and the West against Iran is coming. It's coming. So, ain't no sense of, you try to do what you can right now. If to maybe through some form of negotiation, maybe you can, but that could blow up any day. So that's not, you can't build trillions of dollars of trade on a motherfucker, just like, it's just like, every other weekend when a motherfucker get drunk and shit, you know what I'm saying? And now they want to fight. They get drunk and they want to goddamn fight. So how you gonna have trillions of dollars like that? And you hitting ships and shit. And and ain't no telling, you could have hundreds of millions of dollars on one ship, and a motherfucker hit your ship with a goddamn drone, and you lose $200-400 million. I mean, and all they have to do is maybe put $1,000 drone out there, you see, to attack, fly 4, 5, 6 of them to attack. I'm quite sure that they gonna, they got all, other forms of weaponry, defense systems, maybe lasers. I don't know, but ultimately that they're, it's got to be some form of new defense systems that can defend against drones. Because this is the new age in which that drone is becoming a fucking menace. It's becoming a serious fucking menace. And so motherfuckers gonna have to have some type of defense system. And I'm quite sure that they building defense systems and this and so on and so forth. But even Israel is not coming out of Gaza. They not coming out of Gaza no time soon. So y'all they might as well give up on that. If they was gonna come out, they would have came out by now. And why go through all that shit and bomb that motherfucker and then allow, the same factions to come in and set up? They don't give a goddamn. That's strategic. They just want the land. They don't give a fuck. They'll rebuild it, but for the sake of war and military, long as they can get in there and get close to you, that's the most important thing. And so you can bomb that motherfucker down all you want to. And that's why they talking about, even ruling over Gaza. That's what they talking about. And the rest of the Arab world don't want to accept it. The rest of the Arab world don't want to accept it. And that's on them. We're discussing it, from the outside looking in, and that's how we're looking at this. And so, I can see it for what it is. They not about to let up on that goddamn, right there in that what they call the gates of tears. You see, they not about to let up off of, Matter of fact, this one even says 2.4 trillion of trade passes through the Red Sea. So that might have been old. So they talking about over 2.4 trillion. That's too much money. That's too much goddamn money. And they not about to let them goddamn dusty motherfucking Arabs, stop that money coming in. So, it's really at the point. Just let's be real. Let's be real about it. There is now a clash of nations on who going to, in what direction the world is moving in 2024. Is new combatants, is new, it's just like king of the mountain and you got somebody at the top and motherfuckers is coming up trying to pull him off the goddamn mountain. You see, and so it's a serious battle for who is to be the king of the mountain. And real talk, they're gonna have to address that. I'm just saying it from that, you're gonna have to address that. And in reality is, it's gonna have to be, it's damn near gonna have to be like Gaza. You're gonna have to bomb that motherfucker and you're gonna have to occupy. You're gonna have to go in there and you're gonna have to get them motherfuckers and get them out of there. If they stay in there, it's nothing for them to keep sending drones. Unless they got some form of drone defense that they can set over there that can knock them goddamn drones, because it don't make no sense to send no ship up through that motherfucker with $200-300 million worth of oil, and all it take is a goddamn $500 drone, $300-400 drone, and it crash into that motherfucker and catch a fire, and every motherfucking thing on that motherfucker burn up. And so you losing. You see, you losing. Hellified. And so either you're gonna let them stop $2.4 trillion. And I don't see the West allowing some dusty ass Arabs like that in Yemen to have that kind of control over that kind of money. And not just the money, the power that go along with it. You could cripple like that. If they and you think what they trying to do right there in between Yemen and Africa is what China is trying to do over there in the South China Sea. They trying to do the same thing. They trying to cut off that trade from coming through there. You see? Now imagine if China was able to do it over there and then the Arabs, can do it right. You talking about the downfall. You see, you that's a downfall. You are no longer nothing. You no longer the number one. Cause that would most definitely choke the United States out of the number one spot. Most definitely. You're not gonna be number one. And they take two major shipping lanes like that on the planet. You're done for. Period. And so I see that they mobilizing over there in that, not just in the South China Sea, all around that motherfucker. And I'm expecting that they're probably gonna do the same here. And I understand that you got, Yemen, they've been fighting a long time. So they some battle hardened motherfuckers. But I can't see them standing up, any serious length of time against the United States in the West. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. It's no, I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. If they want to go in there, they can go in there. And I know Iran is but they got something for them. They can choke them. Now, if on the other side you understand what predicament the United States is in, they probably gonna start shipping, trying to get shit in there now. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna be, looking for a fight. So they already been anticipating this fight. So they probably already been shipping shit into Yemen. Period. You know what I'm saying? So, it's gonna become where, they're gonna damn near, they're gonna have to control the whole of the Arabian Sea. You know what I'm saying? They got to motherfucking be ready to board shit. You know what I'm saying? If it's coming from Iran or any of that shit. But see, the thing is, what's crazy about, you don't even know if Saudi Arabia is with Iran. You don't even know if Saudi Arabia is with Iran. You got to watch these motherfuckers. They could be playing peekaboo. You know what I'm saying? Now I know that they've been at odds for for a long time. But sometimes shit, you can work some shit out for a greater agreement, a greater place on the planet. Sometimes it work out that way. And so, but so the only way that I could see, is Iran, trying to ship shit to Yemen right now to try to get it in there, and so when it go down, they got something. And so if Iran is and then the Yemen just shot a goddamn ballistic missile towards Israel. They shot a goddamn ballistic missile, man. You see, they shot a ballistic goddamn missile. So these motherfuckers, and so it's gonna be a serious war over there in a minute. It's just gonna be what's going on in Gaza. If they go into Yemen, it's gonna be all out. It's just gonna be all out. Ain't gonna be no other way around that. That means you're gonna bring Lebanon in. You're gonna bring the other factions in. And so it's gonna be a world war. And so you don't know where the other Arab nations lay. You don't know how Saudi Arabia and it's gonna get ugly. Because you're gonna literally have to punk all their ass. Straight up. You're going to have to punk all their ass. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to punk them. You know, and this is, I mean, I'm telling you nation shit. If you, and I don't want you to come in here with, I don't want you to come in with, emotionalism and you know all we talking about military strategy. They looking to pump the West. That's what they looking to do. They're challenging on all levels today. You see, and so regardless to whether motherfuckers is want a war or not, it's gonna be one. It's gonna be a goddamn war. And like I say, the Confederation of Iran, and so you don't even know how Russia, what part Russia is gonna play in that, because Russia might try to arm Iran just like United States in the West is arming Ukraine. You know, you know, they could do that, and they could expand Iran's capability by sharing technology with Iran. And when they share, of course, then Iran is going share technology with Yemen, gonna share and his other factions, in Syria, in Lebanon. You see, so you're gonna have to deal with them now. You're gonna have to dismantle them now. You can't let the shit get to rolling. And I'm quite sure they already know that. And so, again, in order to maintain this trade coming through the Gulf of Aden through you're gonna literally have to control both sides of the waterway. You're gonna damn near have to control both sides of the waterway. Period. Period. Now, if you attack Yemen, you don't know how the rest of the factions in around that area gonna act. I don't know if they feel any type of cultural connection or anything. So you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You trying to stay in good grace with Somalia. The United States is trying to stay in good grace with Somalia. I see that. We'll be talking about that in a minute. But I don't know how they'll respond if they attack Yemen. And so if you can't fight everybody, but then if you want to stay on the top, you got to fight everybody. You see, that's the reality of that. You got to make a motherfucker, weigh it in the scales, and you got to make it so, you got to put motherfuckers, hard on the scale, and see if when the fear of retaliation, the fear of what level you're willing to go to maintain control over that area. You got to put that on the table and let motherfuckers know. And then somebody just may have to, become where you have to teach motherfuckers, you have to teach motherfuckers. So in the sense of what we talking about, power and so on, is I think Yemen is on the hit list. I think Yemen is on the hit list. I think they just put themselves on the hit list. You see, I think that there are going to be major operations on Yemen to get them Houthis to diminish their capabilities, seriously diminish their capabilities to be able to do that. And which means that it could be possibility that Yemen could be occupied just like Afghanistan, Iraq. Yes, I do believe that they very well may be next up on the list. And in doing that, in setting up bases in Yemen, and and because you got some of them nations, and we're about to go into that when we deal with the United States And Egypt has just sent a warning to Ethiopia because, see, you can see that this shit is expanding, and it's like, the sides are lining up and you don't know, where this shit liable to go. But just know that it's going to get there real soon. Well, would you fight now? You can't wait no more years. You can't wait no more years. What you gonna wait for? I mean, they building they trying to get nuclear capability. You see what I'm saying? You can't wait no more years. You got to deal with them now. You got to deal with them now where they ain't, 2 years from now with all the sharing and shit and this, that, and the third, you know, in 2 years, you talking about Iran is going to be where North Korea is right now. They could have, ain't no telling how many nukes. You see? Ain't no telling how many nukes Iran could have in 2 years if you don't get with them, you know? So, yeah, if you just watch it, just watch it, just watch it, and we'll see. If they got some form of a strategy that can deal with them drones and deal, and they ain't gonna just shoot drones. They're gonna shoot missiles too. They ain't gonna just shoot no damn drones. They're gonna shoot missiles. So you got to have, so you got to have a missile defense system over there. Who want to, and so that's gonna be hella tension. That just have, and what you got missile defense, but yet it's still you under threat where you could be hit. Who want to sail up through there under threat like that? So that's why I see, some form of a ground assault in Yemen coming. They about to go in Yemen. They just put their motherfucking name on the list. You see, they going up in Yemen, and that's the only way I could see it. And they gonna occupy. And what that's gonna do, matter of fact, don't go nowhere because I want to deal with Ethiopia. This is a different, and so don't go nowhere. Here's some of them links, family, support the general. And I'll be right back. I'm gonna come right back. We're gonna talk about the United States and Egypt has just warned Ethiopia. Yep. Don't bring all your conversation back. We about to talk some more. This is General Sarah Soon said, he said, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.